Welcome to Link by Golf, where the stories of the game come to life. I'm your host Ross McGuire, and today I'm joined by someone whose journey spans continents and showcases the global power of golf, Chris Bell. From representing Scotland in badminton to picking up a golf club for the first time with a second-hand Dunlop 9-iron, Chris's passion for the game has taken him across the world. He now serves as Director of Membership at the National Golf Club of Kansas City, a premier club designed by the legendary Tom Watson. If you enjoy the conversation, make sure to follow Link by Golf on your favourite podcast platform and never miss a story from inside the ropes. Let's go over to Chris. Welcome to this week's podcast, Chris Bell. Chris, thanks so much for coming on. It's brilliant to see you.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
And Chris, we'll jump straight in. So you're from Scotland, and I'd love you to tell the listeners where you're from in Scotland and how you get into golf, how it all started.
So originally from Shotts in Scotland. Quite honestly, when I started playing football when I was younger. Played goalkeeper for a little bit, and then randomly one day found an old golf club in the shed, back in my dad's shed, old Dunlop 9-iron. Never forget that club. Kind of went out there and started messing around with it down the local park, and kept running home every other day back to my dad, like, yeah, I can hit it further, I can hit it further, I can hit it further. And he was like, nah, there's no way, I need to go to look at this. So came down one day and he's like, this kid's actually pretty good at golf. So I actually held it cack-handed when I first started, so left hand low.
Yeah.
And then one of the guys who lived just behind our house, my dad was telling him about it, and he was like, hey, we need to get him into the golf club. And he came down, took a look at it, took me up to Shotts Golf Club, talked with the pro in there. That was the one thing he said to me. He said, if you ever want to do anything in golf, you need to change that grip. So changed the grip, got my little Tiger Woods book, put 2 tees in each corner of the pages, and basically stick to the driving range for the next, 25 years now at this point.
Oh, that's brilliant. And did you join Shotts right away?
So we joined as a junior member. I think I started 2000. We joined the club there. And as soon as that happened, it was everything, because I actually played badminton for Scotland as well. So kind of dropped everything, dropped the football, dropped the badminton. It was basically golf only at that point.
Wow. So what age were you when you started playing badminton for Scotland? That's a really interesting one.
So I think 13 or 14.
Right.
So I started playing golf when I was 13, and then probably done the badminton a little bit for about a year and a half after that, and then the golf kind of took off a little bit quicker than what I thought. I mean, I got to scratch after 3 years of playing golf, so kind of everything was put on hold, and it was all golf at that point.
Wow. And through that time, so what kind of transition did you see between starting the game and then getting to scratch? What did you go through in terms of different tournaments and progression and learning as well?
So it's kind of funny as well, because it's kind of slightly different than what most people do. Those guys in the other podcast too, they asked me about that, and they're kind of baffled by the way that I learned the game. So again, it was basically just we would go out on the day before, get our wellies on, and go look for golf balls, because there was no golf balls in the range at that point. So we go find the golf balls, take them home, clean them, walk back up to the golf course, and then basically just hit golf balls. Just beat golf balls. And there was one day I was on the range. Again, it's crazy bringing these memories back, but on the range one day, and I'm in the rain. I've got my Tiger Woods book with my 2 tees in the corners up there, and I'll never remember, member at the Shotts Golf Club, Jim Hill, he came up and walk over, and he's like, what are you doing, son? I was like, oh, I'm trying to learn this game, and I'm frustrated, and I'm hitting it left and right. And he's like, hey, I'll give you the best piece of advice in golf ever. See that book right there? Put it in the bucket. He said, put it in the bucket. He said, just whack it towards the hole and go find it. And if it doesn't go the right direction, go find it again. And if you do that enough times, you'll get good at this game. And that's basically what I done. It was basically just beating golf balls for hours and hours and hours. It was basically, I used to walk to the golf course before school, practice for a couple of hours in the dark, and then walk back down for another 40 minutes, walk down to get the bus to school, then same again after school, and done that till dark for years, basically. And it was a lot of watching videos and stuff as well. And the biggest one for me back then was Tiger Woods, so kind of trying to emulate his golf swing. and it
Yeah,
was kind of just
you're
watching.
you're the perfect age for Tiger being an influence on you, aren't you?
Yep, that was incredible to be part of and watch it, and it was cool. So it was kind of I want to swing it like him, and it was just the biggest thing was mainly it was just hitting enough golf balls and trying to figure out as you go, like what happened there, why they hit it left, why they hit it right, and then come to find out after all these years, it's basically just all about grip, alignment, and keeping your eye on the ball, basically.
Yeah, I mean you're pretty good. You definitely knew how to play golf and still do. So then you progressed though, Chris, and I mean you joined my own golf club as well at Colville Park. So what age were you when you joined there?
So I think that was right around the time that I got the call up for the Scotland team.
Uh-huh.
We had a couple of little issues here and there at Shots Golf Club, and kind of wasn't really getting the support that I kind of wanted back then. And it
Right.
was right around that time we were getting picked up with the Scotland team because normally back then with the Scotland team, you would be picked up when you're 12, 10, 11, 12, and they would kind of put you through the program and do the coaching and all that stuff. Um, but I mean, I didn't start playing golf till I was 13. Didn't get
Right.
to scratch till I was 16. And then whenever I moved to Cobble Park, I got all the support I ever wanted, right? And it was kind of just, and especially whenever you got guys like Kellett and O'Hara, it was like those guys were better than me at that point. So it was like that was competition. Um, so again, it was used to take the bus down to Cobble Park every other day and hit golf balls in the range down there. And then we finally got the call up for the Scotland team, and that was just a kind of game changer for the whole thing. It was I'd never even seen anything like that before. I'd never been on a flight before. And then they picked me up in a limousine to go and get my suit done at Slater's, and it was the whole thing was just kind of nuts,
Wow.
honestly. And then travel around a little bit doing the Scotland team stuff, and it kind of just took golf to a next level from a competition standpoint.
Yeah,
And
am I right in saying so to get your Scotland cap, you must have had some good results, but was it a like a Futures Tour event thing you won down at Cardrona? Is that right?
yeah, so we done it was a I think it was like a it was a they just started it back then. It was like X number of players in Scotland, like the top, say, I don't know, 50 or whatever it would be. And they all played like a kind of order of merit kind of mini
Yeah,
event.
yeah.
And I finished second and third in a couple of them, won the one at Cardrona. And then that was it was a Bryson, but he was
Oh,
the scout for
Wilson
that's the one,
Bryson.
Bryson Wilson. He watched me in that round when I won at Cardrona. And I think that was honestly what got me the call up. And receiving that letter in the mail was just crazy. Like you're going to play for your country, the top five in the country. What the hell's going on here?
Wow.
After learning to play golf with one golf club, so it was pretty cool.
So you, when you went to play for Scotland, was it Europeans you went to first?
Yeah, so we went to the Europeans. We played the why am I forgetting this? The one down south as well. When you've got Scotland, England, Ireland, Wales in it.
Oh, the Home Internationals.
Home internationals, we played that as well. Then played a couple of friendly matches as well in Spain too, which is pretty cool.
So then Colville Park had half the Scotland team for the Europeans.
Pretty much, they did. Yes, yep, they did. And that
Wow.
was honestly part of the reason why I decided to pick Cobble Park. 'Cause I could have done Wishaw, I could have done Hamilton, all that stuff. But I knew that Paul was there, and he was the player to be. It sounds like he still is, but yeah, he was the player to be back then, and I wanted to be in amongst that.
And then you played for Scotland, and were you playing sort of things like the Amateur Championship, Scottish Amateur, and all that as well?
Yeah, so done some of that. Done some of the British Amateur, done Scottish Amateur a little bit here and there, but kind of after the Scotland stuff, it was kind of again back to the money point of view. It's either you have a sponsor or family member that can cover it, and we didn't have those options, so it was basically go to work at that point
Right.
and kind of
And
keep the amateur stuff going a little bit.
yeah, and from there you went to college eventually in the States, but it wasn't a straightforward journey either with that.
Yeah, no. So I actually started working in call centers. I wanted to be a salesperson. That was like what I wanted to do. So I started working in call centers. So I was selling. I mean, I've sold everything honestly. So we done TV packages, we did broadband packages. I was doing packages for international phone calls. We're doing all that stuff, and I ended up working for Xerox in Glasgow. So I
Right.
first started working for Xerox in there, and I was making appointments over the phone for the salespeople to go out
Uh-huh.
and do their sales. So I done that for, I think, a year, and then they promoted me into being an outside salesperson.
Right.
So done that for, I think I was there in total for 3.5 years, I think it was. But in amongst that time, it's kind of, yeah, you're doing pretty good for yourself. You got your car, you got your little place, you got this, you got that, and it was in the back of your mind, it was always golf, golf, golf. I don't get enough time to play golf. So then I kind of looked in, because at this point I was 20, 21, 22, and I had seen and heard a few guys that came over to the States, and a lot of the guys back then that came over for a couple of months didn't like it, got homesick, and then went home.
Yeah.
So that was kind of part of the reason, on top of the financial stuff too, but it was part of the reason why I didn't do it back then. But kind of got into the regular life over there. Again, doing pretty good, and then it was like, I'm going to try this and see, just kind of contact one of these agencies, and it was through Lauren Kelly at Pro Dream USA.
Yeah.
So I kind of just went to him, and it was basically just set up an online CV, done a little kind of promotional video type thing. And before they even uploaded the little promotional video, the coaches had just seen the resume or CV, and I got 3 different phone calls. I had one in Georgia, one in Florida, and then one in West Texas. And then I got the strangest call of my life. Coach Chavez called me from West Texas. I'd never heard that accent before, unless it was in a film. He just called me. He's like, "Hey, do you want to move to America?" This was November 2010, and he called me up. He was like, "Hey, I need you to come here for the national championship," and I think it was either end of January or start of February. And I'm like, "Is this a scam? Like, what's happening here?" He's like, "I'll pay for everything." He said, "I'll pay for your flights, your school, your books, your electricity, your college. I'll pay for everything." And I'm like, "Okay, this is happening." So it's funny too. So I went home that day after I got that call and had my little briefcase that my dad got with my laptop in it for Xerox, and slammed it on the kitchen table. And I was like, "Dad, I'm moving to America." And he fell on the floor laughing at me. He's like, "There's no way." He said, "There's no way. People don't move to America for shots. They don't do it." And I was like, "Well, it's happening." So kind of managed to get everything figured out, everything sold, everything get rid of, and it was basically right down from my whole life, right down to one suitcase and a set of golf clubs. And we applied for the visa. The visa came in, I think, 4 days before my flight. Jumped on the flight, and if nobody knows where Odessa, Texas is, I would just Google it, because it's the craziest place ever. Have you ever watched the new show Landman on Netflix? That's exactly where I was living. So it was a culture shock for sure. And then get there, and again, it's kind of just flat, oil field, dusty desert out there. But the crazy part about that was, you've came from doing well in amateur events in Scotland, playing for your country, top 5, all that stuff. You're going to another country. I was presented with basically a press conference when I got off the airplane, like, "Hey, this guy's going to come and help us win the national championship, and you're on TV," and I was front page newspaper. It was crazy. And I'm like, "What is going on? These people don't even know me." And then the funny part about this whole thing was my first ever qualifying round, I shot 94.
Thanks to Oliver Wilson and True Linkswear for supporting the show. Let's hear from them now.
The OG3 Pro is the natural evolution of the OG range. We have a wide toe box that allows your foot to work naturally and your toes display. We have a cushioned zero drop platform. It's flexible, minimalist to allow you to feel the ground. It's waterproof and an aggressive spikeless outsole. And of course, it's tour tested.
Nice, good start.
And yeah, if you're going from parkland golf courses and shots to basically solid fairways, it's 40 degrees hotter over there, balls flying 50, 60 yards further. I had no idea what I was doing. But at that point, it was kind of back to the roots again, and the only option you've got is to just kind of beat golf balls and figure it out. And that's what I've done for the whole first couple of months, and then we ended up winning some golf tournaments in the college scene as well, which is pretty cool.
Oh, fantastic. So what events did you win in the college setup, Chris?
So we won one up in New Mexico at Rainmakers. We won one in Andrews, Texas, and we got the team. So actually, we had two Scottish guys in our team. Stuart McKechnie, he was from Fauldhouse.
Right.
He was on our team as well. So basically, our whole golf team had one American on it. There was an Australian, two Scottish guys, and a guy from Mexico, and one American. And we ended up getting the team to number one in the nation. And we had a really successful kind of couple of years. And then right before I got there, Abraham Answer was he was part of that college team too.
So he just left before you joined, Abraham Answer?
Yeah, I moved into his dorm room just after he moved out. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's done all right.
He's done pretty good for himself, yes.
And I should have asked, sorry, what college was it you actually went to, Chris? What was it called?
Odessa College.
It's actually called Odessa?
Yep, in West Texas, yep.
Wow. That's incredible. So how did the college career finish then in terms of when you got to the end? Were you determined to go and play professionally and do all the things that people might have in mind?
So yeah, again, it was the biggest thing at that point too was kind of going through the visa process and all that stuff to stay here, which was a nightmare back and forth. But it was college went pretty good, doing good. I got offers to go to a couple of D1 colleges after that. But at that point, I'm 24, 25.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to keep doing the college lifestyle where you've got no money in your pocket and you're basically just, and quite honestly, you're not really learning a whole lot of stuff that you didn't learn when you were younger in Scotland.
Yeah,
so it was kind of, and I also had the working background as well. So it was like, hey, I want to go back into the working world, but also do the professional golf stuff. So whenever I finished college, I actually went in to be an assistant golf pro at Bentwood Country Club in San Angelo.
Cool.
So then that kind of started in the PGA program there. Done a little bit of that stuff, but I done the players ability test. We passed the PAT, so that allowed me to turn pro. So turned pro, and then it was kind of I was working at the country club, but alongside that playing a few local events, kind of some of the North Texas PGA, some of the West Texas PGA events here and there. Done that for a couple of years. I moved back to Midland, Odessa. They were connected. So I worked at Ranchland Hills Country Club for I think maybe a year and a half, 2 years or so. And as anybody who's been an assistant pro knows, that you don't make any money. That was the biggest part of it. It was like, yes, you get to play golf, but you don't make any money. So you made all your money doing golf lessons. And after you're standing in the pro shop for 8 hours, you don't want to go out in the 100-degree heat and give golf lessons until it's dark, basically. So went into the working world. So went back into the sales stuff. Again, done a few different jobs in the sales stuff. Did a little bit in the oil field. Sold drill pipe inspection. I've sold coveralls. I've sold band-aids. I've sold all that stuff. And then kind of bounced around a little bit. Lived in Seattle for a year. Moved up there for a year. I had a staffing agency. So we started a staffing agency in Odessa, Texas. And then moved up to Seattle. We were doing all the staffing for the Seahawks and the Mariners up there in Seattle. Did that for just over a year, and then I got the offer.
A bit more like Scotland in terms of weather as well.
A little bit
more
yeah.
Similar.
Kind of a little bit depressing up there. Kind of drizzly rain the whole time. So actually, I was a member at Jefferson Park up there, where Fred Couples grew up playing golf, which is pretty cool.
Wow.
It was kind of memorabilia, all that stuff of him playing there. But again, that was back to playing golf in the pouring rain, and it was like I need to get out of here. So then we got the offer to transfer the office to Houston. So I moved back to Texas. Had the staffing office down there. We'd done all the staffing for the Houston Texans down there. Did that for a year. Again, super. I don't know if you've ever been to Houston, but it's the most humid place on the planet. So it was as quick as we could get back out of there, and then got another offer to work in the oil field out in West Texas, which was basically a kind of entertaining job. It was like how to take clients out to play golf and all these different country clubs out there. So they gave me a huge truck and good chunk of cash, and it was kind of go play golf with customers. So we done that for a little bit, and then actually right before, which is an interesting story, right before I left Houston, I'm actually applied for a director of membership job at one of the country clubs in Houston. And the guy sat there and looked me in the face and told me that I wasn't good enough for the job, basically. And so kind of that went away, and then went back to West Texas for a couple of years, done that stuff, and then kind of again back in my mind is golf, golf, golf. And it was like, that guy really infuriated me, honestly. So I'm like, I've got all of the stuff that you would need to have for this position to work. And I looked into it again, and then we had four or five different clubs through the company that I'm with now. They gave me the offer to work for either one of them, and where they were kind of all over the country. But this one here in Kansas City was the only one that had two clubs.
Right.
So we got the National and we got the Bluffs Golf Club here. And the general manager at the time, guy from Canada, we just sat there and kind of shot the crap for an hour and a half. And he's like, do you know what? I think you're going to be great at this. When can you be here? And I was like, I'll pack my stuff today. Packed my stuff, loaded up the car and a motorcycle, and drove to Kansas City.
You certainly like moving around, Chris. That's a theme that's coming through.
It's been a journey, yeah. But I mean, we kind of got up here, and now we're kind of fully in the country club business and running and managing country clubs and kind of knowing the ins and outs and the business side of it, not just the golf side. The best part about that story is that our club's doing a lot better than the one that the guy told me that I wasn't good enough. That's the best part.
And I'd love you to let people know, because obviously it's really different in Britain. I think in England, round about where I'm from in the southeast, there's a few, I don't know how to describe them, it's definitely companies own maybe 10, 15, 20 golf courses. And I don't mean, like McDonald's hotels or Marriott or anything like that. There's sort of intermediate companies that own smaller places. I'd love you to give an insight into the size of the organisation you're working for there, Chris, out with just the two golf clubs that you've got.
Yeah, so some people might be familiar with the name Club Corp. So we used to be called Club Corp, now it's called Invited Clubs. We're the largest golf management company in the country. Right. So we have, right now, I think it's right at 144 or 145 country clubs that we own, kind of run and manage. And then on top of that, we have city clubs. So we've got city clubs like kind of Dallas Tower Club, where you can go and do private events, weddings, all that stuff. But the cool part is whenever you're a member of one of our clubs, you can kind of travel around and kind of go to all these different clubs. And I think the closest one to us, I think they've probably got about 65 or something clubs.
Right.
But the cool part about that when it comes to the being a member of a country club here, most other clubs in the area and most other clubs in the country, they're all member-owned clubs.
Yeah.
So you have what's called an assessment. If there's any upgrades or there's anything goes wrong, we've got a golf course down the street here, Kansas City Country Club. So they're doing a whole $25 million renovation on their whole golf course.
Wow.
So just to give you an idea, you're $100,000 up front just to join that club. I think right now they're like $1,750 every month to be a member. And they've came to the members and said, hey, we're doing this whole golf course renovation. We need to get $150,000 up front from every single member, or you're basically kicked out. And the crazy part about that is that the golf course is actually closed for 2.5 years for the renovation. So they're paying $100 up front, $1,750 a month, this extra $150K up front for their golf course to get renovated, and they can't play golf. Which is just crazy, right?
That's unbelievable. That's mind-blowing.
It's crazy. But yeah, our companies, we don't have that. So right now at our club, our club right now is $40,000 up front, $1,200 a month. But since we took over the club, because it's a brand new takeover as of October 2021, we've put in, for just upgrades alone, right under $5 million.
Wow.
And the members don't pay for that because of the size of the company, which is awesome. So it's kind of one of the perks of joining a club through Invited Clubs, is that you'll never, if the clubhouse burns down or we renovate a green or we I mean, we put in $400,000 worth of gym equipment 3 or 4 weeks ago, and the members don't pay for that, which is awesome.
Yeah. Wow. And I'd love you to talk about the course, or the two courses, Chris, and you've got quite a famous connection that you like to catch up with now and again. I'd love you to talk about that.
Yeah, so there's kind of little bit of history with the Bluffs golf course. It's actually had 5 different names over the years, but kind of from what we gather, there's probably about 55 to 60% of that golf course was designed by Tom Watson.
Right.
And then on the national side, after kind of Tom had his crazy success that he had on the golf course, he kind of decided he wanted to have his own signature design golf course here in Kansas City, because that's where he's from. So this was the first one that he designed here in Kansas City. So he done that, and the course opened in 2000. So we actually just as our 25-year anniversary there a couple of months ago.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, so Tom Watson designed the golf course.
Wow. And then he said that he is now coming back as well. You've seen him?
Yeah, so from what we hear, we didn't kind of get into the details on what happened, but he had some sort of falling out with previous ownership. We think it's about 12 to 14 years ago. And then we kind of heard a little bit about that and didn't really do anything on it. I ended up going to a golf show probably 30 minutes south of here, and he was standing there kind of doing autographs, and I walked past him and I had the National Golf Club logo on my chest, and Tom Watson walked up to me, which was the craziest part, and he was like, "Hey, I'm looking to see if I can get with a new company and see if I can potentially come back to the club." And I was kind of baffled at this point. I'm like, "What do you mean come back?" I'm like, "You're Tom Watson, you can do whatever the hell you want there." And so kind of exchanged numbers, kind of got the connection, started going through the agent, doing all that stuff, and finally kind of got it set up where I was going to present him with honorary membership, which is crazy that kid from Shorts is doing this at the club that he designed after his career. So we done that, invited him in. Like I said before, I kind of stood there for just over an hour, just kind of talking with him. He was asking all these different questions about St Andrews and Shorts Golf Club and my kind of career, all that stuff. It was pretty crazy. And then in front of 150 founding members at the club, with one of my heroes standing next to me, I'm standing there with a microphone shaking, trying to do a speech on this thing. It was incredible. But yeah, everything went all well, and we finally managed to get him back to the club, and we can see him every now and again out there playing golf and eating dinner, and it's pretty cool to have one of basically the 5th greatest golfer ever to walk the planet high-fiving you and texting you every now and again. It's nuts, honestly.
Lomond Golf Tours have helped thousands of guests build bespoke golf trips to create a magical experience. Travel in style with our executive chauffeur travel, whether it's golf on a major championship venue or one of our hidden gems, 5-star accommodation or a boutique bed and breakfast, or is it whiskey tasting on a private boat? Lomond Golf Tours are here to help build the tour of a lifetime. Whether you're celebrating a special occasion or ticking it off your bucket list, embark on a trip that you'll remember forever. To learn more about our offerings for 2025 and beyond, visit www.lomondgolftours.com.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it sounds like you're having a great time there, Chris. So, I mean, just fill the listeners in about what your role is in bringing people to the club effectively, and what you've done. Because I picked up on, I was listening to another podcast you've been on. I think it's a local one to you guys there in Kansas, and they were talking about some of the things you brought to the table to change the perception of the golf course, as well as just getting people in the door. So I'd love you to talk about that too.
Yeah, so whenever I got here, it was that February? I think it was February, and in this area with the zoysia grass and stuff, it kind of goes dormant in the winter time. So when I first pulled up here, I'm like, this is just exactly like Texas. What the hell am I doing? Right, okay. So sitting in my office, and not fully like this. I don't want to kind of say that out loud, but I'm going to. It was kind of seen a little bit as a kind of higher end, kind of stuffy-ish country club from some people's perspective. There was no marketing. There was no kind of pushing it. It was like the small group of members, and they kind of wanted to keep it that way-ish. That's
Right.
kind of my perception of it. But whenever we came in as the company that we are, and it's kind of part of the reason why they changed the name to Invited, it was kind of everybody's invited, basically. So I'm sitting in my office in the wintertime, kind of twiddling my thumbs, like, this place is incredible. How can I get people here? And I'm thinking, like, what's everybody doing in the wintertime whenever there's snow on the ground, there's ice on the ground, whatever it is? They're all looking at their phones, they're all looking at Instagram, they're all looking at social media. So I kind of started a little bit of kind of messing around with doing a couple of little social media posts here and there just to kind of promote it, and then done a couple of because a lot of people in this area, they can't ever get access to a higher end private country club like that. So I've done a couple of little giveaways, like, hey, come play around the golf with me if you can share our social media. Can I do that stuff? So it kind of progressed from there, and we started getting basically more and more website inquiries and more people kind of, because my main job within the club is kind of basically bringing new people in and passing them off to the member experience team, who basically do all the member events and kind of keep the members. So I'm kind of out there playing golf with guys, wining them, dining them, kind of showing them the place and showing them what they could have, basically. And if I can portray that online better than anybody else, then more people is going to want to come to this club. So then that's when we started getting into doing the drone flying and doing the podcasts and doing the YouTubes and inviting YouTubers and stuff out there. We've done a bunch of that stuff too. And it's kind of just promoting the club, right? And since we've started doing that, it was just everybody wants to be part of it. Which was the whole plan, really. But I wasn't expecting it to go as well as it has. So looking at the numbers and the finances and all that stuff, that when we first got here, they hadn't sold a full golf membership in 2.5 or 3 years. And across full memberships at the Bluffs, full memberships at the National, and our social athletic. The first year I done right under 100 memberships. The second year I done 129. Last year I done 148. And then this year, as I've not even looked at the numbers this year, but in May I done 39 new members.
Wow.
So it's been kind of blowing and going and kind of progressing really well, and it's kind of turned into a kind of fully fledged country club now, with kind of kids running around, people going to the pools, tennis, pickleball, sand volleyball, basketball. Like our member event last night with the fireworks, we had just under 400 people out there. So we're actually getting people now to kind of come and use the club as the way it should be, not just being a super nice golf course and then people going elsewhere to eat or going elsewhere to do their other activities as well too. So,
and that's typically what people in America are looking for from a country club, right? They do want to have that. Yeah, they'll go elsewhere as well, but they do want to have that consistent place they can take the family. They know it's safe. Yep. Kids can run around, as you say. They know the kids are safe. They can go and play their golf. It's quite a sort of baked-in thing to the culture here in the States, isn't it?
Yep. The hardest part too is we're kind of out of the way from other country clubs. So the big thing is once we get new people in, the hardest part is kind of keeping them engaged and putting on wine dinners, whiskey tasting, cigar nights, prime rib night. We do paint and sips. We'll do flower arranging. We do a bunch of different stuff for kind of different types of people, that type of stuff. And the girls at the club here have done a great job with that. So they're kind of, we've basically got something going on, whether it's at the National, down at the pools, or even on the Bluff side, basically every night of the week. Whereas that was not happening before. And then with a lot better communication through email, text message, notifications, that type of stuff, and social media as well, because we post some of that stuff on social media. People are now choosing to use the club rather than only playing golf there and going somewhere else to either eat or do other activities too. So,
yeah, absolutely. That's brilliant. So then, Chris, back to your own golf. How much are you getting to play these days? You mentioned getting out there to get new members coming in, but how much are you actually playing yourself?
Quite honestly, I'm playing most days.
Fantastic.
Yep. It's a few call me today and say, hey, I'm looking to potentially join the club. I'm like, hey, get your clubs, let's go play 9 holes. And the cool thing is here is we do kind of club v club matches, kind of what we used to do when we were younger. So we play all the different country clubs as well around here. I'm honestly playing a lot more golf now than what I have in a long time. But the hardest part here, I know this is boo-hoo, but it's like sometimes it's too hot to play golf, and that's a crazy thing to wrap your head around, especially because I had no choice when I was younger. It was like you just play golf in the rain and you had no other option. And now when I wake up, I'm like, I ain't playing golf today. It's too hot. And I'm like, slap yourself a little bit. But yeah, I'm playing a lot of golf right now.
That's fantastic. And how are you playing?
Pretty good. I've been trying for the past 3 years to get the course record at the national. I had 64 twice, the course record 63.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right now we're kind of messing around with new clubs and middle of the season, but yeah, I mean playing pretty consistently under par as well, so it's still going pretty good. We're just not beating golf balls like I used to, but with the experience that I've had, it's like I said, it's back to the things I used to think about when I was younger. It's basically grip, alignment, and keep your eye on that damn ball, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, it's great to hear, Chris. It's been brilliant to get back in touch with you. And so, questions. We'll wrap up with a couple of questions. Favourite golf course to play? What's your favourite?
Apart from the national, I think the only other time that I've had that, there's just a certain feeling you get when you play a golf course, was Loch Lomond. Easily Loch Lomond.
Yeah,
Yep.
never been to Loch Lomond yet.
That
So if
place
there's a
is
listener out
incredible.
there who wants to get me on Loch Lomond,
There you go.
I'm happy to oblige.
I managed to get that on a dry day actually too, which was pretty good.
Yeah, what did you play? Was that a member you knew at Loch Lomond?
No, so it was one of the guys I went to high school with. His dad was a member out there. He owns a construction company, I think, and he's a house building or a construction company in Wishaw. And
Fantastic.
he passed these the standard grades. He got pretty good grades in the standard grades, and he's like, "Yeah, okay, we'll get you a 4-ball for you and a couple of your buddies." So he took us out there and we played at Loch Lomond, which is incredible.
Oh, that's awesome. Fantastic. And then course you haven't played yet. Augusta's off the list. We'll take that off the list. But course you haven't played that you want to?
I don't know the names of any of the courses, but I would love to play in Dubai.
Yeah.
Somewhere in Dubai. That place just looks awesome to play golf in.
Well, there's a guy I've just recorded a pod with could help you out with that, Big Fraser McLaughlin, so I'll get you connected with the big man. I'm sure he'll sort you out.
It's been a long time since I've seen Fraser.
Yeah, he's a little bit larger than the last time you saw him. He's probably double the size, and let's just say he's strong, Chris. Very strong.
Oh, so he always has been, yep.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, Chris, in terms of people following up with you and wanting to get in touch and hear more about you, where can they find you on Instagram?
You can go through either myself, so mine's at Chris Bell Golf, and then the national is the National KC on Instagram.
Fantastic, and we'll see the pictures of you and Tom Watson on there as well.
Yep, they're right there at the top, and they're never leaving there.
Fantastic. Well, Chris, thanks so much for coming on. It's been brilliant to see you again. I really appreciate you doing this. Thanks.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
That's it for this week's episode of Link by Golf. A massive thanks to Chris Bell for joining me, from representing Scotland in badminton to leading membership at a Tom Watson design course in Kansas. His story shows how golf can unlock unexpected paths and international opportunities. If you enjoyed the conversation, please follow the podcast and share it with your friends, fellow golfers, or anyone who loves hearing how the game connects us beyond the scorecard. Thanks again to Oliver Wilson and True Linkswear for supporting the show. Until next time, I'm Ross McGuire. Thanks for listening.